Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. Today, we're tackling something I think a lot of us wrestle with, sharing our faith.
It's a big one, yeah.
It is, and the excerpt we're looking at today is called How to Share Your Faith with Others, which right off the bat kind of hit a nerve with me,
Yeah.
because honestly, the whole thing can feel pretty intimidating,
Yeah, I hear you.
but at the same time, this idea of being bold witnesses
Yeah.
that the source talks about is like inspiring, but also maybe a little, whoa, how do I actually do that?
Yeah, for sure.
So I think our mission today is to kind of find that sweet spot. Like,
Yeah.
how do we take this calling to share our faith and make it something that feels genuine and loving, but also, like we can do it with confidence? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a great goal. And what I find interesting is how the source kind of jumps right into that tension. Like it acknowledges that, yeah, it can be intimidating, but we're still called to action.
Right.
And it actually uses this powerful image from the Bible, Matthew 28:19-20,
Oh, yeah.
where Jesus tells his disciples to go and make disciples of all nations.
Huge task.
Right. Like that's a
Yeah.
massive undertaking.
Yeah, and I think that's why maybe it feels so intimidating sometimes. But the source also emphasizes approaching this with like three key qualities:
Hmm.
love, compassion, and confidence.
Right.
But I feel like sometimes those words can feel a bit abstract.
Yeah.
Like, okay, love, compassion, confidence, great. But what does that actually look like?
Right.
So what I'm curious about is, are there any concrete examples in the source of how to put those qualities into action?
Yeah, actually there are. One thing the source highlights is this idea of friendship evangelism,
Okay.
which is basically about building genuine relationships with people and letting your faith naturally become part of those interactions.
Interesting.
Like it could be something as simple as, inviting someone to a church event
Right.
or sharing how your faith has helped you through a difficult time.
Yep.
It's about creating space where faith can be discussed openly and respectfully without, forcing it on anyone.
So it's more about integrating your faith into your everyday life and relationships rather than feeling like you have to have this big formal conversion conversation.
Yeah, exactly. The source emphasizes that it's often those small, consistent interactions that can have the most impact.
Hmm.
And that approach actually ties back to those qualities we were talking about.
Yeah.
Love, compassion, and confidence. Like you're showing love by being a genuine friend, you're showing compassion by understanding their perspective, and you're showing confidence by not being afraid to let your faith be part of who you are.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So we've talked about this friendship evangelism, but the source also talks about like communicating the gospel, answering questions, and being a living testimony. Like, how do you see those elements fitting in with this whole idea of friendship evangelism?
Yeah, I think it's all connected. Like, think about it this way. Communicating the gospel effectively within a friendship might involve sharing personal stories about how your faith has impacted your life.
Right.
Making it relatable, showing the positive aspects of your beliefs. Answering questions thoughtfully could be as simple as, like, being honest about your own doubts or struggles.
Yeah.
Showing that faith isn't about having all the answers, but about seeking truth together.
So it's about being real, not just presenting some like idealized version of faith.
Exactly. Like people can spot inauthenticity a mile away.
Yeah.
And then finally, being a living testimony in this context could be as simple as letting your actions speak louder than your words.
Ooh, I like that.
Right. Like if you're constantly talking about love and compassion, but your actions don't reflect that, it's going to be hard for people to take your faith seriously.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
Yeah.
It's really about the whole package, not just the words we say. So for everyone listening out there, it seems like the key takeaway here is that sharing your faith isn't just about reciting verses or, having this specific script. It's about embodying certain qualities and engaging in genuine, respectful dialogue, often through the natural course of friendships.
I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this has been so insightful. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
And for you listening, here's a thought I want to leave you with. We've talked a lot about living testimony, but if someone were to just observe your life, what would they say is the testimony you're presenting to the world? Does it align with your beliefs and values? That might be something to, chew on as you continue on your faith journey. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time for another